This is Ron with Ron on the Grill, and today we're going to take this pork loin right here and turn it into these gorgeous butterfly steakhouse pork chops, man. So you can see that they have trimmed off all of the fat cap on this one, and all that's left is this silver skin. That's not going to render down, and you really can't chew it, so we can't leave it on. So I'm just going to clean this baby up, get all that stuff off, man. The next thing we need to do is cut these into chops. Now remember, we're going to be butterflying these down the middle and opening them up. So these need to be some pretty wide sections. I used 4 fingers to measure how wide to make each cut, but you may want to use 3. It just depends on your personal preference. Now that I have 4 nice thick steaks here, it's time to butterfly them open. To do that, we're going to take a sharp knife and just start making slices right down the middle, spreading apart as we go. Now remember, you don't want to cut all the way through. Just keep gently pulling your knife across the middle and spreading it open with your other hand until it lays flat. You may have to press down on it a little bit, but that's fine. Next, I put mine in a marinade for 30 minutes. I use Still Their Shine sauce, barnyard base, but any marinade will do. These are very, very, very lean chops. They basically have no fat in them, so you're gonna need to either marinate them or brine them to keep them from drying out on you. Of course, the most important thing you can do to keep these from drying out is to take them off at the right temperature. We're gonna be talking about that specifically as we get closer to the end. Right now though, let's get back to these chops. It's been about 30 minutes, so I've already removed my chops from the marinade, rinsed them off, dried them off, and now I'm just letting them hang out on the counter and come up to room temperature while I heat up the grill. I'm going to be using my Weber Spirit gas grill for this cook. I've been warming my grill up while my chops are resting on the counter, and it's nice and hot. So let's get these chops seasoned up. For the fine layer, Kansas City style competition rub by Man Meat Barbecue. So I'm just going to lay that on nice and fine on both sides. And then I'm going to come back with my coarse layer, and for the coarse layer I'm using Kinder's the Steak Blend. Now that I have both sides seasoned, it's time to get them on the grill. These are going to go about 4 minutes, but I'm going to turn them a quarter turn about 2 minutes in. I'm trying to get these hatch marks on them. So it's been about 2 minutes and it's time for the quarter turn. I'm just going to turn them from the 11 o'clock position to the 2 o'clock position. Go for another 2 minutes. All right, it's been about 4 minutes and it's time to turn these babies over. And looking at my grill marks, they're definitely not perfect, but they look good, man. I'll take them. So as I flip these over, I'm going to move them over to the cool side of the grill where I have the burners turned off. And what we want to do is take these up to temperature slowly so that we can monitor the internal temperature and take them off just at the right time. I'm looking for an internal temperature on these of about 135 to 140. That's where I want to pull them off at, because I know the carryover is going to add another 5 degrees to that, and I definitely want to be under 150 degrees internal with these chops being as thick as they are. Checking these with my thermometer, it looks like they are right in that range, so it's time to go ahead and bring them off. And I'm just going to let them rest for about 5 minutes before we cut into it. All right, it's been about 5 to 7 minutes and it's time to see what we got here. Let's cut into one of these babies. It's looking real good inside, just a slight bit of pink, which is exactly what you want to see in a pork chop, especially one this thick. I'm gonna call this one a win, man. My wife and I loved it. It was very good. We made 4 of them and we ate all 4 over the course of 2 days. If you want a good whole pork loin recipe that's not the same old bacon wrap smoked recipe, I got one for you right here. Check it out. See you next time on Run on the Grill.